Today, we're heading deep into the San Juan Mountains of southwest Colorado, where history, altitude, and rugged beauty all come together. Our trail today is County Road 31, which is located directly off of Scenic Highway 550, or more famously known as the $1 Million Highway. Our entry point is about 9 miles north of Silverton and almost directly across the highway from the Black Bear Pass trailhead. This is a very convenient and short through route, only about 2.5 miles long, and we'll eventually reconnect with Highway 550 about 3 miles south of Ironton Park. So come along with us and enjoy the ride as we travel through the heart of the historic Red Mountain Mining District, home to some of the region's most iconic old silver mines. Although it's only mid-October, this little pond already has a thin skim of ice on its surface, just enough to remind us that even though the days still feel mild and pleasant, we're above 10,000 feet and the nights get cold fast up here. These weathered timbers are those of the Longfellow Mine. It wasn't the largest mine in the district, but it was one of the earlier ones, and it marks the opening chapter of the story we're driving into today. And despite this recent snowfall here, the road is still easily manageable. That said though, having the extra traction of our Jeep was definitely reassuring. The natural beauty here is just simply incredible. And this is one of those drives where the scenery grabs your attention in every direction. Truly a special treat, blending history and scenery at every turn. Up ahead is the National Bell Mine. In its day, it was right up there with the Yankee Girl Mine, at least in terms of its high-grade ore production. However, the Yankee Girl Mine gets most of the attention now because of its iconic and beautifully preserved headframe. But the National Bell Mine was a much larger operation overall, and you can see it here in the sheer size of the tailings pile. All of the leftover crushed rock from the ore processing was dumped down this slope, creating the massive hillside of waste material that still defines this landscape today. Winding our way along this twisting road, we're starting to catch our first peekaboo glimpses of that iconic red Yankee Girl framehead. So every now and then we spot hikers out here on the road like these two, and when we do, they're usually friendly and always quick with a wave or smile. Now we're approaching the remains of the old Genesee mine. I don't know what the function of this old structure was, as there's no sign here, but it could have been a bunkhouse or a mine office or even a camp store, who knows? But I think it's safe to say it was probably an important part of the larger mining complex. And now beyond that building and over this hill sit the ruins of the old Genesee mine herself. And again, as much as we wanted to, we just didn't have the time to explore this one. So here, in the heart of Colorado's mining district, you'll find a landscape that was shaped by big dreams, a touch of luck, and incredibly hard work. This whole area between Silverton and Our was one of the richest silver regions in the entire West. People flooded in here chasing the next big strike. And some struck it rich, but most did not. And right in the middle of it all stands one of the most iconic relics of them all, the Yankee Girl Mine. And here it is, the Yankee Girl headframe, one of the most photographed mining structures in all of Colorado. This tall tower sits directly over the main shaft and was the mine's lifeline. It supported the hoisting equipment, which raised the ore from the ground, lowered supplies, and transported the miners in and out of that dark hole. But what makes the Yankee Girl headframe so striking today is how much of it still stands preserved, despite nearly 150 years weathering harsh winters. So when you're poking around structures this old, you have to be so careful because they can be unpredictable and dangerous. And when you peer down through the grate covering this old shaft, you can imagine the men who once worked here voluntarily, hundreds of feet below the ground, in cold, cramped, pitch black conditions with only the faint glow of a candle or carbide lamp to work. We're standing inside the mine now, looking straight up at the towering headframe that once housed the hoisting equipment. As one of the richest silver mines in the San Juan Mountains, the Yankee Girl was the crown jewel of the district and still stands as a proud reminder of Colorado's mining past. So, as we say goodbye to this iconic structure and begin making our way back down toward Highway 550, we can't help but reflect on what an incredible journey this trail has been, full of big views and quiet moments that make these back roads so special. And just when you think you've seen it all, we find the trail is not quite finished with us yet, offering up a few more surprises, like the scattered remains of what were structures related to the old Guston mine. silent but still fascinating pieces of the past, and just another layer of the rich history tucked into these mountains. So, as we roll the final mile to once again join Highway 550, we are reminded of these silent storytellers and the majestic mountains that never stop inspiring awe, and a place where every bend in the road holds another potential story. Well, thanks for joining us today, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, wander well and safe travels.